Hello dear students, welcome to all. Students, today we are going to start chapter 13 of class 9th, that is statistics. Okay. And students, in this lecture we will discuss about introduction to statistics and some definition related to it. And we discuss about construction of frequency distribution table. Clear? So students, without wasting time, let's start today's lecture with chapter outline. Okay. So these are the few topics which will be covered in this chapter. And these topics are, first we discuss about introduction to statistics. Okay. Then next is what? Tabular representation of statistical data. Then we study about graphical representation of data, and after this we discuss about measures of central tendency such as mean, mode and median. Okay, so students, in this lecture we will discuss about introduction to statistics. So let's start the introduction to statistics. Okay, so first of all, let's discuss what is the statistics. Statistics is what? Statistics is a branch of mathematics. As previously we discussed that algebra is a branch of mathematics, geometry is a branch of mathematics. In algebra we study about constant and variables. In geometry we study about shapes. Similarly, statistics is what? Statistics is a branch of mathematics in which we study about collection of data. After collection we analyze this data. So we can say that statistics is what? Statistics is a branch of mathematics in which we study about collection of data, analysis, interpretation or explanation and representation of data. Okay, now after the definition of statistics, the next is what is the purpose of study of statistics. Okay, so the purpose of study of statistics is a crucial process behind how we make discoveries in science, make decisions based on data and make predictions. Statistics allows you to understand a subject much more deeply. Okay, because statistics is very useful to comparison or prediction or testings. How? Let's understand with one example. Students, sometime in newspaper you study that the last night is coldest night from last 10 years, or sometime in commentary, sports commentary, you hear that this six is longest or highest six of Dhoni. Then how can we judge that? How can we say that this six or this six is longest or highest, or the last night is coldest? Because they have collection of previous data, and by comparing them they say that the last night is coldest, and the commentary person say that this six is longest or highest six. Okay, so we can say that the collection of this data and comparison is just what? It is just a statistics. Okay, now so let's discuss two main reasons why studying the field of statistics is crucial in modern society. So first reason is statisticians are guides for learning from data and navigating common problems that can lead you to incorrect conclusion. Okay, and second is, given the growing importance of decision and opinion based on data, it is crucial that you can critically assess the quality of analysis that other present to you. Okay, so these are the two reasons why study of statistics is crucial, or we can say important for modern society. Okay, now After this, let's discuss some real life uses of statistics. Okay, so if we discuss about medical study, then statistics is useful in medical study. How? Let's see. Statistics are used behind all the medical studies. Statistics help doctor to keep tracks where the baby should be in his her mental development. Physicians also use statistics examine the effectiveness of treatments. Okay. Now, for example, I am the patient, and if if I have my all previous medical reports, then it is easy to doctor to treat me because I have all records of my previous health checkups. Okay, so this is just a statistics. Okay, weather forecasting. In weather forecasting, statistics is useful. Statistics are very important for observation, analysis, and mathematical prediction models. Weather forecast model are built using statistics that compare prior weather condition with current weather to forecast future weather condition. Okay. Now, after this, quality testing. In quality testing, again statistics is useful. How? Let's see. A company makes thousands of products every day and make sure that they sold the best quality of items. Okay, and for a company it is not possible to test each product, so the company uses quality testing with the help of statistics. For example, there is a company XYZ, and this company produce three product ABC. Then he check all the data, how many product A is sold and how many product B sold and how many product C product of C sold. Okay, then it's the statistics of these products gives the feedback to the company that which product is good or which product is bad. Now, after this, stock market. In the stock market, statistics is also useful. The stock market also uses statistical computer model for stock analysis. Stock analysis get the information about economy using statistics concept. Okay. Now, consumer goods. In consumer goods, again statistics is more useful. Retailer keeps track for everything they sell and know the stock using statistics. Okay, worldwide leading retailers use statistics to calculate what products ship to each store and when. So students, now after this, let's discuss about data. What is data? So student, data is what? Data are individual pieces of factual information recorded and used for the purpose of analysis. Okay, now it is raw information from which statistics are created. Okay, so to create statistics, the first requirement is what? We have data. Statistics are the result of data analysis, its interpretation and presentation. Statistics is what? Statistics are the result of data analysis and its interpretation and its representation. Okay, now what is the collection of data? According to collection of data, we divide data in two types. Okay, the first is primary data. The primary data is what? Data which are collected for the first time by the statistical investigator or with the help of his workers is called primary data. Okay, now the second is secondary data. These are the data already collected by a person or a society, and these may be published or unpublished form. For example, if I collect data of your class according to your percentage of marks in your previous class, okay, then this is what? This is the primary data. Okay, because I myself collect the data of your class. Now, principal of your school want to collect the data, but he does not have time. So he called me that give me the your collected data which I collected from your class. Okay, then these data for the principal is what? Secondary data. Clear? And students, here we study that these are secondary data is what? Secondary data are the data already collected by a person or society, and these may be published or unpublished form. Or we can say that secondary data is data from newspaper and magazines and any other trustful sources. Okay, now the very important point is that primary data is very reliable because it is usually objective and collected directly from the original source. Okay, as as our in previous example, so there I collect data myself for my particular purpose. Okay, and it also gives up to date information about a research topic compared to secondary data. Now for the secondary data, that principal use my data for his purpose, but maybe the purpose of your principal and my purpose is different. How? I collect the data to check the your result of previous result, but principal want to check the data according to your address, or what is your height and what is your health record. So the purpose of principal and my purpose is different. So I think this my data is not useful for principal. So if we use the secondary data, then we should use it very carefully. Okay, now students, after this discussion of data according to classification of data, now the next is classification of data. Okay, when data is compiled in the same form and other in which it is collected, it is known as raw data. It is also called crude data. For example, if I collect the data from your class and I write the name of first student and its percentage marks, and then the first name is Ram, then Sham, then Karthik, and the percentage mark, this is what? This is the crude data, or we can say that it is raw data. Okay, now after this, let's discuss about what is the variate. What is the variate? The numerical quantity whose value varies in objective is called a variate. Generally a variate is represented by x. There are two types of variate. Now first of all, let's discuss about what is the variate. So students, if this is marks and number of student, okay, and I collect the data from your class, I write how many students got 20 marks, then this 20, then how many students got 30 marks, how many students got 35 marks, then this 20, 30, 50, 35 is what? These are the variate. These are what? These are the variate. Okay, and here I write how many students got 20 marks, how many students got 30 marks, and how many students got 35 marks. So this marks are what? These are the variate, because in this example these are vary. Okay, now the types of variates are, the first is discrete variate. Its magnitude is fixed. Here this is the example of discrete variate because its value is fixed. It is 20, 30 and 35. So this is the example of discrete variate. Clear? Now after discrete variate, let's discuss about continuous variate. Its magnitude is not fixed. For example, if I collect the data of your class and I write the marks here, and I write here 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and here number of student. Okay, then this is what, this is the variate, this is what, this is variate, and this is the example of continuous variate, because in this variate it is, its magnitude is not fixed, it varies 0 to 10, 10 to 20 and 20 to 30. So this is the example of continuous variate. Clear? So students, I hope you understand about what is the variate and what are the discrete and continuous variate. Okay, now, so now after this, let's discuss the next term, and the next is range. What is the range here? So students, the difference of maximum and minimum value of variable x is called range. X is what? X is variate. We represent variate generally by x. For example, I collect the data and I got that this is the data of any class, and these are the marks of students: 20, 25, 21, 35, 21, 36, 28, 40, 41, 30, 36. Okay, so these are the data of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 students of any class. Then we have to find the range of this class. So what is the range? So range is what? Range is difference of maximum and minimum value of variable. So here what is the maximum marks? It is the 41 minus what is the minimum number here? 20, 21. So we can say that here this 20 is minimum, so we can write 41 minus 20, that is equals to 21. So 21 is the range. Here 21 is what? 21 is range. Clear? So these are the very important definitions in the exam, school level examination. These definitions are directly asked. Okay, so you have to remember these definitions. Now after this range, let's discuss about class frequency. What is the class frequency here? In each class, the number of times a data is repeated is known as its class frequency. For example, let this is x, and from this we, if we write 20, then if we write 21, then number of student, this is what? This is number of students. And how many students got 20 marks here? Only one student. If you talk how many students got 21 marks, then it is 1, 2. So 2 students got 21 marks. Okay, now let's discuss about, let's write about 25. So how many students got 25 marks? Here only one student. So students, this is what? This is the frequency. This is what? This is frequencies. This is what? This is the frequencies. So we can say that in each class, the number of time a data is repeated is known as its class. Here this is the discrete values, or we can say the raw data. If we prepare the class here, then it is just like number of marks from 20 to 30, 30 to 40. Okay, then frequency is 20 to 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 5. So frequency of class 20 to 30 is what? 5. And 30 to 40, it is 1, 2, only 2, and so on. We can prepare the table. So students, don't be confused how we got these tables and classes, how we define classes. We discuss all these about after few minutes. Okay, so now this is all about the class frequency. Okay, now after this, let's discuss about the class interval. What is the class interval? Class interval is what? range divided by number of classes. This is very important formula here. Class interval is what? Class interval is range divided by number of frequency. And sometime we require number of classes, then number of classes equals to what? Range divided by class interval. Because in objective examination directly ask that if range is this and we have to prepare the classes of this interval, then find the number of classes. Then you can apply this formula, number of classes equals to range divided by class interval. Clear? And students, class interval is generally denoted by small h or small I. Okay. Now after this class interval, let's discuss about class limits. What is the class limits? So the lowest and highest value of classes are known as lower and upper limits. For example, if we have a class 20 to 20, 10 to 20, then this 10 is what? This 10 is lower limit, and this 20 is what? This 20 is upper limit. Clear? So this is about class limits. Now after the class limit, the next is class mark. This is very important term here. What is the class mark? So the average of the lower and upper limit, average of the lower and upper limit is known as class mark, and we also called it as mid value of class. For example, if we have upper and lower and upper limit, lower and upper limit of any class, then mid value or class mark is equals to L plus U divided by 2. L plus U divided by 2. For example, if we have 10 to 20, this is the one class of any observation, then we can say that mid value is equals to what? 10 plus 20 divided by 2, that is 15. Okay. And students, we generally represent this mid value or class mark by x. So here we can say that for this x is what? X is 15. Clear? So now after this mid value, here is very important note. If x is the mid value, if x is the mid value and h be the class interval, if x is the mid value and h is what? This h is class interval, then the class limits are x minus h by 2 and x plus h by 2. For example, here mid value is what? Here mid value is 15. Here mid value is what? 15. And what is the interval? Class interval h is what? 10. So here h is what? 10. Then we can find the lower and upper limit of any class. So for this class, the lower limit is what? X minus h by 2 and upper limit is what? X plus h by 2. So here we can write x minus h by 2 and x plus h by 2. So it is equals to 15 minus 10 by 2 and 15 plus 10 by 2. So when we solve this, what will we get? It is equals to 10 by 2 is 5, 15 minus 5 is 10, and it is 15 plus 10 by 2, 15 plus 5, that is 20. So we got the class here. We got the class. Here we have mid value and class interval. By solving this, we get the class for this. So it is the same for this class. So we can say that for this, the class interval is what? 10 to 20. Clear? So students, sometime in the examination, you have mid value and class interval, and you have to find the class for this mid value. Okay. So now students, after this, let's discuss some interesting examples. The monthly pocket money of 6 friends is given below: rupees 45, rupees 30, rupees 40, rupees 50, rupees 25, rupees 45. Okay. Then we have to find what is the highest pocket money. What is the highest pocket money? So the first is, what is the highest pocket money? So we can write highest pocket money is here. Highest pocket money is 50 rupees. It is 50 rupees. Now the next is what is the lowest pocket money? The second is lowest pocket money. So lowest pocket money is what? If we observe here, the lowest pocket money is 25. Lowest pocket money is what? It is 25 rupees. Clear? Now what is the range? So we know that what is the range? Range is the maximum value of observation and minimum value of observation. So it is maximum minus minimum. So it is equals to 50 minus 25, that is equals to 25. So range is what? Range is 25 here. Now the fourth is what? In the fourth question, arrange the amount of pocket money in ascending order. Okay. So first of all we write the minimum value. Minimum is 25. Then after 25 it is 30. After 30 it is, we use 25 and we use this 25 and this 30, and after 25 and 30 we have 40 here, and after 40 we have 2 times 45, and after 45 it is 50. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so here we have 6 friends, so we write the correct. So students, these are the answer for this question. This is very basic question here. So now after this question, let's discuss about the next topic, and the next is frequency distribution. Okay, what is frequency distribution? So the marks scored by 30 students of 9 classes of school in the first test of mathematics, about 50 marks are follow. These are the marks of 50 students in test of mathematics. Okay, now we can prepare the table, frequency distribution table for this observation. How? Let's see. This is the table. Here we write marks obtained, tally marks and frequency, because I don't have a space below, so I write the remaining table right side of here. Okay, so now first of all the marks obtained. If we observe here, first of all here we have 0 marks, so marks obtained 0. How many students got 0? 1 2. 2 students got 0 marks, so it is 2. Now after 0, let's check for 6. How many students got 6? 1 2 3. So we can write 6 marks obtained by 3 students. Now after 6, let's check for 10. 1 2 3. So 3 students got 10 marks. 1 2 3, and the frequency is 3. Now after this 10, let's check for 17. How many students got 17 marks? 1 2. Only 2 students got 17 marks, so it is daily marks is 2 and the frequency is also 2. Now after 17, let's check for 22. So how many students got 22? 1 2 3 4, 5 and 6. So let's write the tally mark. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 and 6. So the frequency for this 17 is what? 22 is what? It is 6. Clear? Now after 22, let's check for 26. So how many students got 26 here? 1, 2. Only 2 students got 26 marks. So 26, this is tally mark and this is frequency. Okay. Now after 26, let's check for 28. Okay. How many students got 28 here? Let's check. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 students got 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now after 28, the next is what? After 28, the next is 32. So 1, 2, 3, only 3 students. So 32 got by 3 students. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now after 32, the next is 36. So how many students got 36? Let's see. 36. 1, 2. 2 students got 36. Now the last is what? The last is 48. Last is what? 48. Okay. How many students got 48? 1, 1, 2, 3. So 3 students got 48. Okay. Students, this is not 50 here. This is 30. Okay. This is what? 30. Here we have only 30 observations. Okay. So now to check the frequency distribution is correct or not, we have to add the frequencies. If we add all the frequencies, we should get 30. So 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 6, 16, 16 plus 2, 18, 18 plus 4, 18 plus 4, 22, 22 plus 3, 25, 25 plus 2, 27 and 27 plus 3 is 30. So our frequency distribution table is correct here. So students, I hope you understand how to prepare the frequency distribution table. Clear? Now let's discuss about kinds of frequency distribution table, or we can say that types of frequency distribution table. So statistical methods like comparison, decision taken depends on the frequency distribution. Frequency distribution are 3 types. We have 3 types of frequency distribution. The first type is individual frequency distribution. Here each item or original price of unit is written separately. In this category, frequency of each variable is 1. In this distribution, frequency of each variable should be 1. For example, serial number of students. If we collect the data of your class, then the first student got 45% marks, percentage marks. Second got 35, third got 65, fourth got 75, fifth got 80 and sixth got 50% and seventh got 90%. Okay, so this is the individual frequency distribution. Here this frequency of each variable is 1. Okay, now after this, let's discuss about discrete frequency distribution. What is discrete frequency distribution? Students, when number of terms is large and variable are discrete, number of terms is large and variables are discrete, that means variate can accept some particular value only under finite limits. Okay, here we define limits and is repeated, then it is called discrete frequency distribution. Then for example, this is what monthly wages for 4,000, number of employees 10, monthly wages for 6,000, number of employees what 8, monthly wages 8,000, number of employees 5, number of monthly wages is 11,000, number of employees 7. This is what, this is the frequency. Now we can classify, we can prepare the discrete frequency distribution table from here. First of all, we write monthly wages from 0 to 10,000, monthly wages 0 to 10,000, then 11,000 to 20,000, then 21,000 to 30,000. Okay, these are the limits. Now if we talk about 0 to 10,000, then it is 10 plus 8 18, 18 plus 5 23. So the number of employees what, it is 23. Okay, now 11 to 20, it is 7 plus 2 9. Now 21 to 30, it is 1. Okay, so this is what, this is discrete frequency distribution. Now after this, let's discuss about continuous frequency distribution. What is continuous frequency distribution? When number of terms is large and variate is continuous, variate can accept all the values under finite limits and they are repeated, then it is called continuous frequency distribution. For example, if we talk about 0 to 5, 5 to 10, these are what, age in year, age in years, and here this is 10 to 15. Here if we observe, this 5 and 5 is common in both. So in this type of frequency distribution, the meaning of this class is what, age less than 5. Meaning of this class is what, age less than 5. This is what, this is age 5 to less than 10, and this is what, age 10 to less than 15. Okay, this is also age in years. Clear? For example, number of frequencies is 374. Okay, this is continuous frequency distribution because in this limits are shares. Okay, so this is what, this is continuous frequency distribution. In previous example, here is 10,000 and here is 11,000. So this is discrete frequency distribution. Clear? Now after this, let's discuss about classes, types of classes. Okay, now classes can be made mainly by two types. So the first is inclusive series. First is what? First is inclusive series. What is the inclusive series? In this method, value of upper and lower limit, value of upper and lower limit, value of upper and lower limit are both contained in same class. Okay, in this method, the upper limit of class and lower limit of other class are not same. Sometime the value is not whole number, it is fraction or in decimal number, lies in between two intervals. Then in such situation, the classes interval can be constructed as follow. So for example, this is class here and this is frequency. Okay, for example, here we have 1 to 10, then 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. Okay, and the frequency is 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. These are the frequencies. Here students, these are the inclusive class. Means this 1 and 10 both are included. Upper limit and lower limit both are included. Okay, both included. And here upper limit of class and lower limit of other class, next class is not same. So this is the discrete frequency distribution. Okay, clear? So students, I hope you understand about this inclusive series. The point is what? The main point is upper limit and lower limit both are included. Okay, sometime in the examination it is directly asked that in which class upper limit and lower limit is included. It is inclusive series. So if we have an inclusive series, or we can say that discrete frequency distribution, then what is the class width? What is class width here? So in this case, class width is equals to upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. Here class width is equals to what? It is upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. For example, here if we subtract these two, then what will we get? 9. So what is the class width of this these classes? It is 10. So the class width is what? H is equals to 10, or we can say class size is what? 10. Clear? Now after this inclusive series, let's discuss about the next type of class, that is exclusive series. Okay, in this method upper limit of the previous class and lower limit of the next class is same. Okay, in this method the term of upper limit in class is not included. Okay, so let's discuss. Students, in this previous example we have 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30 and 31 to 40, 41 to 50. We can convert this frequency distribution, discrete frequency distribution, or we can say that inclusive series, into the exclusive series. And students, generally we use exclusive series because it is a continuous frequency distribution. Okay, then let's discuss how we convert inclusive to exclusive. So to convert it, we have to change lower limit as L minus A by 2 and upper limit as minus plus A by 2. And here this A is what? A is difference of upper limit and lower limit of previous class. For example, here it is 1, 10 and 11, 12, 20. So here the upper limit is 10 and lower limit of next class is what? 11. So we can convert these classes in exclusive. How? Let's see. A is equal to what? It is 11 minus 10, that is equals to 1. Okay, so our first class is what? Our first class is there. The first class is 1 to 10. So it is 1 minus 1 by 2, 10 plus 1 by 2. Similarly, 11 minus 1 by 2, and it is 20 plus 1 by 2. These are the class. And 21 minus 1 by 2, 30 plus 1 by 2. Similarly 31 minus 1 by 2, and it is 31 plus 1 by 2, 30, yeah, this is 40. Now 41 minus 1 by 2, 50 plus 1 by 2. Okay, then what will we get? It is 0.5 to 11.5, and it is again it is 10.5, 10.5 to 20.5. Okay, and this is what this is, 20.5 to 30.5, and 30.5 to 40.5, and it is 40.5 to 50.5. Okay, now it is what it is, continuous frequency distribution, or we can say that exclusive frequency distribution. Okay, generally we use exclusive frequency distribution in statistics. So students, what is the class width? Class width for exclusive series is what? It is just upper limit minus lower limit. Here we does not require to add 1. Okay, so 10.5 minus 0.5, it is 10. So here the class width is what? 10. Clear? Now let's write the frequencies. Frequency in the previous example, what are the frequencies? So here 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. So it is 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. So this is the conversion of inclusive series to exclusive series. Clear? So students, I hope you understand this, and this is very important term here, because to construct the cumulative frequency distribution we have to require this concept. Okay, so students, now after this the next is the write the class size and class limit for mid values. Here these are the mid values, so we have to write the class size. So if we observe students, 114 minus 104 is what? It is 10. Similarly 124 minus 114, it is again 10. So we can say that the class size is what? The class size is 10. Class size is what? It is 10. Now we have to write the classes also. So the mid value is what? 104, 114, 124, and 134, and 144, and 154, and 164. Okay, so we know that how we find the classes. 104 minus 10 by 2 up to 104 plus 10 by 2. Then what will we get? 104 minus 10 by 2, that is 5. So it is equals to 99 to 10, it is 109. Okay, now similarly if we solve this, 114 minus 10 by 2 up to 114 plus 10 by 2, then it is equals to 10. When we subtract 5, then what will we get? It is 109 to 119. So students, we can write the all classes. It is 119 to 129, and 129 to 139, 139 to 149, and 149 to 159, and 159 to 169. These are the classes for all mid values. Clear? So students, I hope you understand all about the statistics and all the questions which we have discussed in this class. Okay, so students, now we have to finish today's class here. We will meet again in next class, and we continue this chapter in next class. So thank you and have a nice day.